Oh, week 6. God damn. God damn, brother.
Almost the halfway point
Almost a halfway point, and I feel
to your inevitable doom.
I feel so much sorrow once again. I thought, going into this year, so much draft cash and everything, that I could just be riding the high hills of victory, and tasting that sweet nectar of success. Yet I find myself at 1-4, and I
Nothing's ever for sure.
yeah, I just think I might be bad at fantasy football now. And so,
Questioning
I,
every life
yeah,
decision.
we'll get more into my team later. Um, but yeah, what a time it's been. You though, my friend, the mayor, 4-1, must be feeling nice.
Four straight victories. Yeah, it's
Taysom
it's
Hill,
it's
dude.
good. It's good, but at the same time, there's room for improvement. There's always room for improvement.
Well, at least you have a new god on your team, according to Ned. New god.
Praise. This is the hill that I die on.
Let's say your team's over the hill.
Yeah, it's like
God.
oh man, I just want to say what a pickup. Just I can't really sit here and be like, I don't know. Like, let's think about this. There's two ways we can think about it. Was it just luck, or have I found a bona fide tight end one?
I want to hear it, man. Literally, these fucking platforms need to get on it. Is the dude a fucking tight end or is QB? Did he even fucking light up at the tight end spot last week?
If anything, I would say probably fullback or halfback because he doesn't catch anything, but he only threw one time, but he's also had like over 25 rushing attempts this year.
Yeah, ridiculous. Well, just not really sure what to think about the whole Taysom Hill conundrum there, but hey, you did a good pickup and 4-1. Uh,
Yeah, it was good times.
yeah, what a week it was. We had a couple over 100-point scores this week. Uh,
At seven,
yeah,
seven, tied for the most in one league. I mean, 1 week history. We did that earlier this season too. So the
oh,
trend
wow,
continues where we just keep on getting higher and higher scoring every single year.
this is true. And it's also coming off a down week too, where it didn't feel like a lot of teams put up a good amount of points. So interesting
Mm-hmm.
seeing the swings here. This episode we're gonna do a bit different. Um, a little bit of inspiration out there from Podly Underground, I guess the Podly.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anything Podly?
I'll put everything Podly. But we want to switch it up this week. So instead of spending so much time what happened, we all saw what happened. Obviously you guys are watching your teams on Sunday, unless you're Gobby apparently. All love gobs. But no, we're gonna switch it up. So we'll do our weekly picks since we've been keeping track of that. And then we'll dive into a little different segment, one that you guys have heard in years past, but we're gonna bring it back. And thanks to the old nut report there, incorporated some good data into it. So let's just hop right into these matchups for this week. And so I'll read it all for you. They're red. First one you got is Steven versus Gobby.
Yeah, these,
Three Coopers and
I'm,
the Show Jackson.
yeah, I'm looking at this and it sucks to say, but Calvin's team has been on the rise. Yeah, it was fun calling him Shitty City for a while there, and and now it's that is dead and gone, and it unfortunately sucks. But I guess that's what happens when you spend a lot of money on your team.
Calvin's having
Yeah,
the opposite effect of my team, where you spend that money and you actually see reward from it.
you know, I would say uh, this is a this isn't very much of a toss up for me in the sense that I was like I'm not betting against Lamar Jackson 2 weeks in a row. I said that last week, and then Lamar Jackson burned it again. So um, I'm gonna go with Steven on this one, and there's a couple different reasons. Really, it's just Steven has constructed a decent team now. He's been putting up consistently more points per week, so that trend is has continued, and I think that he still puts up decent points this week. He also has some good matchups. But Gavi's team at the beginning of the year, I remember all of us were really excited. We are really excited about Gavi's team.
Sure.
$13 for
Yeah.
Mar Jackson, Joe Mixon, AJ Brown, you know, Professor Pleaser, all these guys. And now I look at it and it's really declined. Like we got Brandon Ayuk, you know, we got Brian Robinson in there. We're playing Dubs now. Robert Tunyon, AJ Brown hasn't looked what he's supposed to look like. So I don't see Gabi coming out of this with a victory. So I think Gabi loses this one, and Steven goes to 500.
Yeah, that gets my panties in a wad because they definitely don't like seeing Steven. I was really hoping he'd stay down at the bottom, but you know, it's fine. You spend all that money. You should probably see some sort of reward out of it. Just saying,
Was
that's usually how it works.
I was thinking I was thinking about this the other day. So Steven always starts out with like around $150 in draft cash, right? But I also realized that it's really he has $200 every year because he goes in the draft with 150, but then he spends at least $50 to get players. So he really is playing with $200 every single year. So if he continues to keep doing what he's doing, which maybe I've ruined his surprise and maybe he thought nobody else thought of this, but yeah, every year he's playing with $200 because he starts out 150, spends the 50 from the next year, and so really his team's constructed of $200. And maybe he's getting people for a little bit cheaper throughout the year than he would in the draft.
Is he a fantasy savant? No, he's not because how many championships does he have? Oh, whoop! Yeah, that's right, buddy. Well,
Yeah,
you might be onto something there. We'll give you that. I didn't actually think about that so much before.
yeah. Well, let's think
Gavi,
about okay. So, well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it. I'm definitely a little bit worried about Gavi's team. Shoeless Joe Jackson's about to lose his other shoe, I feel like. And well, actually, he doesn't have any shoes. Never mind. It is shoeless.
He's putting his shoes on, and it's not helping
Wait
him
a second.
anymore.
Yeah, maybe he found his shoes this time.
Yeah,
Would that be better? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe first
I
run
just
of
like the name.
there.
Yeah, it's declined and it's unfortunate, because I'd like Gabi to beat old Steven because I know Gabi threw out a couple shots there at Calvin, but I don't think it's going to happen this week. But if we switch it over and we go to your first matchup, we're looking at COD versus Cleaner.
Mm.
So we're looking at, and I just want to say this name because I love it. Horse Cummy is yummy versus the Clean Machine.
I love the name. Well done, Cleaner. Well,
I also love that Cleaner is facing him when he just named his team.
bro, it's so good. Uh, the cubby is yummy. It sounds like a little kid is about to get his candy.
Oh man. But I
Um,
don't know. Are you saying that Cody's gonna serve it right back?
I think for COD, that horse cubby is yummy this week. I'm picking COD. Getting a big fat gulp of what he loves. No,
Yum yum.
I think COD, he has some question marks on his team, right? Najee Harris going against Tampa Bay. What's going to happen with Michael Thomas? It's just, it's more about Cleaner not having Josh Jacobs this week. I feel like Josh Jacobs has been a huge catalyst in uh, Alex's success lately. I mean, we saw last week
Yeah.
Mike against me, and then the week before that, I'm pretty sure Josh Jacobs had a pretty nice game. He's just kind of on the up and up right now.
This
Um,
man's averaging like 6 yards a carry right now. It's crazy.
yeah, and so without him, I still like Aaron Jones, ultimate boomer bust, right? But Kareem Hunt usually pretty consistent. Mark Cooper just apparently need to get the fuck out of Dallas just to teach again. And then Keenan Allen coming back from the hammy, like dude couldn't even make it through practice last week. That's why he missed the game. So are they gonna have him on a pitch count? I don't know. And Gabriel Davis stepping up, and you already got Stephon Diggs out there. Isaiah McKenzie's not looking like he could probably get some points, but he's not gonna go out there and win you a matchup. And then George Kittle's looked like boo boo lately, so I think it'll be tight. But I'm gonna have to give the nod to Tummy is Yummy.
Hell yeah. Oh man, that's a fucking great name.
That's
I
not.
like that. Yeah, yeah, I could see that happening. I think, Cleaners put up consistent points, but yeah, like you said, Josh Jacobs has been kind of like the unsung hero of this group.
Hmm.
6 yards of carry. This guy is feasting. Like
Uh,
we always knew Josh Jacobs didn't really get much of the touchdowns, but it looks like he's climbing that ladder this year. He's getting more touchdowns. He's getting more red zone carries. So, him being out, yeah, that's a big hit for Cleaner this week.
yeah, no doubt. Next up on the docket for you, you got Diz versus Pate. So Derek's cart against that deal.
All right, so Darius Card needs to take a page out of the old deal bin book and make a deal because the man has no running back. Uh, and you got Derek Carr out. Dax, who even knows if he's going to play this week? They're going to test his thumb, but
I don't think he's playing.
I doubt it. Yeah, they're just going to test it. But also, he has a plate and a screw in his freaking thumb. Like, how are you going to hold on to a football with that? But then Devontae Adams is out. So I know he's got a little bit of depth when it comes to wide receivers, but it doesn't matter. You literally have Miles Sanders and no other running back. Like the two most important positions probably on your team, two running back positions, you don't have one. Um, you can't even start Isaiah Spiller because he's a healthy scratch. So I'm going with the deal then on this one. And Peyton just puts up good points. He averages a lot of over 100 points per game. Um, even with his lackluster running back squad, the Debo Samuel pickup, uh, Travis Kelsey just touchdown machine. So,
Yeah.
you know, and he's got that fucking Justin Tucker. What's his name now? Just enough. So
uh,
I like Trone's team more in this one, and I'm taking Trone over Diz. So a little cousin on cousin action, and the carry cousin takes out the T Garden.
yeah. No, I'm with you there.
There's not much to say. Diz doesn't have a
But
fucking running
I mean,
back.
yeah, I like, you have to have a fucking running back and yeah, and without Derek Card either, I'm like I call him Cart. I've been hearing that shit way too much lately. Fuck that. But no, without those guys. Oh, and Devontae Adams too. I mean, it's like, yeah, I just that's why depth's important. Bye weeks come in, fucking rail you. So
Yeah, no, I want to go into the next matchup because this is a stellar one when it looks at projections. Like we're looking at crap bag versus acceptance and hope. So Garrett versus Scheimer. And I just want to read off the projections so far this week, at least, is obviously not everybody has a position in play, but it's 57.23 to 65.66. They still need to include a couple players into their lineups, but I don't see it going any higher than 85 for either one of them. Um, this is the matchup of the week, and I think this is the week that Scheimer, if he loses the crap bag, maybe he's still thinking about have I accepted this? Is there hope? And then crap bag, well, he's already gone, but maybe he can pull out a W. Who knows? What do you got?
all right, so yeah, crap bag over here playing his mind games again. Brian literally doesn't have his spots filled because dude, the only QB had this entire time. Well, I mean, last week against Jared Goff, but dude, Brian's QB situation is such a shit show.
He thought he had it all figured out with Goff, and then
Yeah,
Goff just went shit to bed.
shit the bed and then goes on a bye. It's like, all right, I do it, I guess. Um, but it's funny because with Garrett's mind games, I'm like looking at his depth. I'm like, the fuck you could put in there anyways. Uh, so I took a good long hard look at this earlier, and I mean, I think regardless who Brian throws in there at QB, he's gonna give him some fucking points. And same with the kicker and defense. Garrett just doesn't have like anybody that I feel like could do that. Those are like positions that you could find probably points on the waiver. But Garrett, I mean, you got Elijah Morrison down there. I'm just not buying it. And I think between Jeff Wilson Jr. combo, Dobbins combo, Tyree, Marquise. Is this the week that DeAndre Hopkins comes back?
No, no, next week.
Yeah.
He's out for 6 games,
Okay.
so 6 weeks.
Yeah, we got Marquise Brown. Tyler Higbee's been low key good, and then that fucking Gabriel Davis popping off. Just got too much. Crap bag going down to 0-6. Just what he wanted.
Yeah, just the way he was expecting it to go.
Garrett's playing a season like he wishes the Blazers would, or the Ducks would just be completely shitty and then I don't know, rebuild I guess or some shit. This is really probably the Ducks, but I know with the Blazers, you fucking talk about that shit all the time. It's so annoying. Anyways, crab back down to 0-6. What's new?
Yeah,
um,
death, taxes, and crap bag. Just like you were saying earlier. What were you saying earlier? Death, taxes, and oh yeah, Raheem Mostert injury.
we'll get to that in a sec. Uh, all right. So last for you, my boy. You got myself versus Jaden. So blue balls versus the Batman.
Yeah, this is the battle of the 1-4 versus the 4-1. It's a little biased on this one, only because I want Jaden to lose really bad. But I also think your time is due. There's just too much talent on the team to not actually perform for at least 1 week. And I feel like this will be the week. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to get stupid usage. There's, Mike Evans going against Pittsburgh. You know, CD Lamb going against Philly. I think that's going to be a pretty decently scoring game. Just because I feel like it's going to be like a defensive thing, and it's probably like they're going to have to rely on their hogs and CDs like the hog, right? So I think this week you finally get a dub. You get yourself out of that hole, get out of that losing streak that you've been in, that sorrow that you have been feeling. Um, and like I said, just with Jaden's team, like still a great team. I compare like it's hard because when your matchups, I just look at like talent versus other talent, and obviously you've spent a lot of money on this team. And so it's hard for me to go against like the talent. Obviously, you've lost 3 weeks in a row, but I feel like sooner or later there has to be some kind of positive regression that comes along with how much talent you have on the team. So I think this is the week that you get yourself out of the three losses in a row, and you get yourself to 2-4.
Literally, I am the Joker at this point. I look at my team and I go, look at all that talent. And then just like on Sunday, there. It's like I go through a wave of emotion on Sundays where I'm like super excited. I'm like, dude, this is the week they do it. Like they're gonna go out there and just hog out. All my hogs are just gonna blow the fuck up. And then
Yeah.
day progresses, I just slump further and further into the couch and pretty soon.
You're like just waiting for somebody to pop off. You're like, at any moment, somebody get like a 75-yard tutty or something.
Dude. Uh, you know, it is a Shakespeare tragedy. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. It's just hopefully Jaden's got the sun god out this week, and so I pray to the gods.
Well, I'm starting
Um,
that Tyler Boyd, but don't count out that T. Higgins. He'll be playing. Don't you worry about it. All right, so last matchup for you, it looks like we got Jesse versus myself. So Stephon Diggs your grave versus Allentown.
yeah. Your guys' matchup took a while for me to actually figure out who I wanted here, and ultimately we're going to Allentown. So, sorry, brother.
Yeah.
But I think talent-wise, you guys match up pretty well. It's just more of the question of like both of you guys have pretty damn good matchups. It's just more of the injuries that you are sustaining right now. James
Yeah,
Conner
yeah.
almost had a serious injury. Is he going to be on a snap count this week? Does he even play?
Who
Um,
knows?
Russell's been doo-doo.
I literally have 6 people injured on my team right now. It's really cool.
Higgins, saw what just happened to him. I mean, obviously, you guys are pretty close in projection. It's just, yeah, it's just hard to tell. So I have to give it to Allentown, the nod over to Jesse.
Well, if I lose to somebody, Jesse's one that I I got to put up high points. That's why we're praying to our Lord and Savior to have himself a game, and he's got a good matchup. So we're hoping for the best. So yeah, but Jesse puts up a lot of points. So it's either I gotta put up or shut up.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Um, yeah, it'll be a tight one. So lastly, the one we'll do together. I thoroughly enjoyed picking this one too. Gonna be Payne versus Herb Your Enthusiasm. So Nut versus that B Johns.
Mm-hmm.
As it currently stands, pretty close projections. But B Johns is also missing their three peers right now.
Yeah.
So, um, normally we go with like the closest one, right? But I do feel like this one could have sneaky competition in it. And the reason I say that is,
Harrison Bucker might be back.
well, yeah, butt kicker. But no, Jonathan Taylor's coming back from the injury. The Colts already look like shit. He wasn't playing all that well beforehand. Is he going to be on a snap count as well? Um, with that Deion Jackson actually looking all right. And then it's just Brandon's depth. Like, we talked about it before. He's got hog starters, but what are you gonna throw Devontae Parker out there, Robbie Anderson, Corey Davis, and he's gonna have to play Hayden Hurst as tight end. So I just I'm still picking Brandon to win,
Mm-hmm.
but Nut did show that he can put up some points, and Brandon's been pretty much at this exact average of points for this entire year. So, and it's not even over, it's 96 points essentially. So it's definitely doable. I just don't know with not having to play that Michael Carter if that's going to be an issue,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's always scary to play 2 running backs from the same team, but
especially in the Jets.
if they do what they did last week, then both viable starters. Yeah, I'm just, you know, even though I think Brandon will win this, I hope Nut wins it just because it's an 0-5 team versus a 5-0 team. And the first loss of the season for B. Johns would be against Nut. It would be against a winless team. I'm ready for it. Like the people want it. We want this, okay?
Everybody roots against Bijan's. I love it. He is the fucking epitome of evil out there. He truly is
E-
Jigsaw.
Evil will not prevail this weekend,
Now the sun will shine down.
even though I still think B. Johns will win. But this is just us manifesting that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, we're still picking against no, but
Yeah, we'll
one
still
can hope.
we'll shit on our own record here for
I'll sacrifice the record.
predictions. Yes, just for an 0-5 team to take out the 5-0 team.
Yeah, legitimately. All right. Well, those are weekly picks. As it stands right now, throughout the year, I actually surpassed you in record. So now I'm 11-4, and you are now 9-6. And together, we're both ass, I guess, at 1-3. So
We must be picking some good ones though for the duel because we usually pick the closest matchups and everything like that.
yeah.
And sometimes it's not the best player in teams. It's sometimes not a very good team versus a really good team or two shitty teams. So who
No, it's
knows?
definitely been a healthy mixture. Yeah, it's just so hard. These fucking projections, man. I'm so tired of seeing projections. I wish they would not even show projections on the goddamn screen. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to see him anymore.
Yeah, and
Um,
you're like, dude, I keep starting the people with the highest projections. They keep giving me the lowest scores.
math isn't mathing.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
let's get on to the news segment.
yeah. So okay, bringing back an old segment, oldie but a goodie. So this segment we're calling, or what we called before, talking shit or talking sense. So
Mm-hmm.
how we're playing out this time, though, we talked about this before. It was a little different this time around. How we're doing it is we're gonna go through the current standings where everybody's at, and based off the prediction, is also just kind of simplified because there's a lot of fucking math and moving pieces here. Um, to simplify it, we're based off the predictions that we did from our weekly picks, right? Because it's all prediction based. I've factored in the record with who we predicted to win. So you'll be after this week. And then we'll talk about if the team is either talking shit, meaning they're just like a poser, they're not, they're bluffing, or are they talking sense? Like are they those are the teams that are gonna make the playoffs, you could see going all the way. So we'll go down the list here. And again, this is off the current standings, but so I didn't update it for next week. But our first team, fucking evil himself again, Jigsaw, 6-0 after this week is what we're saying. So his remaining schedule, he has 4 tier 1 teams left and 4 tier 2 teams left. So 0 tier 3 teams remaining on the docket. Now Brandon's averaging 96.6 points a game, which pretty much puts him at fifth in points for, but he's 12th in points against. Is he talking shit or is he talking sense?
I think his record's talking shit, but I think his team overall is talking sense. And the
Okay.
reason why I say that is because, right, he's averaging 96.6 points per game. Two of those games beforehand were without having Saquon Barkley. So I think if we look at this, right, he's projected to have two top five running backs, hypothetically speaking.
Mm.
Cooper Kupp, number one wide receiver. He has a very good tight end. Uh, so or at least a top five tight end, right? So I'm thinking like when I just go based off of this team, I think he's talking sense. Like this team that he's constructed, I don't see how it could miss the playoffs. However, I think his record is some bullshit because right, one game he beat COD by only scoring 88 points, and COD scored 77, and then another game he barely beat Gare 71 to 65. So if we take out maybe like just one touchdown or maybe one of those teams just basically didn't shit the bed, he has a loss or he has at least two losses. So I think his record's shit, but I think that his team is talking sense.
Yeah, I I wholeheartedly hesitantly agree. And on paper, again, looking at the talent, he's got it there, right? JT actually starts playing like he's supposed to play. Saquon, fucking Raheem Mostert, he could slide into his flex if he wanted to once gets all his hogs out there. Herbert, Cooper Kupp can carry the squad for, his wide receivers. Hawkinson's a good tight end. Evan McPherson's a top fucking kicker, and Ramsey's pretty solid. So I think Brandon's talking sense. I think he has enough to get him into the playoffs. I don't know if I would go as far as, yeah, I'd say he's the front runner to win it all still. It's the points
Yeah.
per game that kill me. And again, 12th in points against. So he'll make the playoffs just based off of, historically you start off 5-0, like you're almost guaranteed to get in the playoffs. Like the dude could lose 3 in a row and still be fine. So yeah, I'd say he's talking sense at least to get into the playoffs, but championship remains to be seen, man. Plus, is just like the JT thing is kind of a weird thing for me right now. I don't understand. Like, I think he'll. eventually kind of get back into form, but it's like they're so bad on offense. Like Matt Ryan in that offense is like a bunch of slugs moving around out there. They can't do anything. Maybe it's the
Yeah,
play, maybe it's the play calling too. I don't know. But
I don't really know what changed too much. Like they didn't really change too much. So I don't. The offensive line hasn't looked as good, so maybe
would you
that's the
take
biggest
Carson
issue.
Wentz over Matt Ryan right now?
Russell Wilson?
No. Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, because Carson Wentz was on the
Oh,
Colts.
Carson Wentz. I couldn't hear. Um, well, I guess from like a pure stats standpoint, like yeah, I'd probably take freaking Carson Wentz, but also Matt Ryan's literally been strip sacked like 15 times already this year, and we're in like week 6. Like I
Right.
feel
Well,
like
yeah. And so, I mean, the offensive line is banged up. They weren't really playing all that well when they were playing together anyways. And it's like, so what does that do for JT? I don't know. But, talking sense, we like the talent, sounds like. All right, next up, we get Jaden. So the Batman after this week would be sitting 4-2. Now he has four tier one teams left, two tier two teams left, and two tier three teams left. So he's got a mixed bag there. Unlike Brandon, who's pretty much playing all top tier for the rest of the time, mid to top. So the Batman is averaging 110.58 points per game. He is second in points for and 13th in points against. Is he talking shit or is he talking sense?
hmm, I think with Jaden, I think he's talking sense. And the reason why I think he's talking sense is there's there's really two main reasons. I'm looking at Justin Jefferson and Jalen Hurts. Like alone, those guys per week can put up a total of like 40 points by themselves. Like every single week. Like it's like clockwork. Like Jalen Hurts, I said at the beginning of the year, dark horse MVP. The man gets rushing touchdowns like it's nothing. And then Justin Jefferson, like whatever, he had like two bad games, but it doesn't matter. Like the dude's ungodly talented, and he comes back out and he's doing everything. He's throwing passes for completions. He's catching freaking deep bombs. He's doing everything. So those because of those two reasons, what we've seen so far with the quarterback play this year, like if you have a top quarterback, there's a good chance that you're going to be at the top of some of these rankings. Like 110 points, you don't get to 110 points without having a top tier quarterback.
Yeah,
Um, and I think the only downfall, right, to Jaden's team is obviously his running backs in the sense that, like, AJ Dillon, like, he traded away CD Lamb,
and
and
Brees
the
Hall.
biggest haul was AJ Dillon coming back. And AJ Dillon just, I don't really know what to think of
Brees
the
Hall was
Packers
healthy
offense
too.
still. That's true. Yeah.
He,
So,
I mean,
so I'm wondering to myself, like, not championship contender at this point, just based off the running backs, because I don't think we've had somebody that's won a ship without having like some type of a top tier running back. And so I think his team is talking sense, and also he has a mixed bag when it comes to his people that he's facing later on teams. The points allowed, you can't really fault him for that too much, especially when he's scoring 110 points per game. It doesn't even matter if he was fifth or sixth in points allowed; he'd probably still be at the same record with the amount of points he's putting up per week.
sure. I actually think that Jaden's team, Sweet Baby J, is talking the most sense out of anybody right now. Like if we were to be sitting around the campfire again and all of us had to turn to speak, I'd probably be most tuned in to Jaden to hear what wisdom that came out of his mouth. Be stroking his beard and his head at the same time. um, reason I say that though is because Jaden's team, he's proven it with the points per game. He has a couple of tier three opponents left, and with that mixed bag of the tier teams that he has left to play. But I also think like when he has like Amon Rossi and Brown in there, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Hurts, and like the blue wall, like that's a solid foundation. And then I mean, I don't mind the AJ Dillon, Kenneth Walker. It's not like I don't know, dude. Kenneth Walker is about to be a bell cow back. Nobody's going to be competing with him.
Yeah, DJ Dallas ain't gonna do shit. There's
No,
no
hell
Travis
no,
Homer.
no, hell no. And so, and Geno Smith's making us all look like fucking idiots at this point. So, like,
Yeah.
he has that offense moving. People actually have to respect him throwing the ball now. AJ Dillon still could be good, and David Montgomery. As much as we shit on the Bears, I mean, he's pretty much the only person on there that does anything. So, like, yeah, I think right now, if I were to pick a team to go all the way, I'm looking at Jaden's team. It's just gonna be a matter of can this player stay healthy? Because behind, his starting lineup, once he gets the Sun God back in there, it's really there's not a lot of depth in there. Um,
Hmm.
so I think
Talking sense.
talking sense. All right, next up we have Alec, 4-2 after this week. Um, Now Alec has four tier one teams left, three tier two teams, and one tier three. Cleaner is averaging 108.81 points per game. He's third in points for and 10th in points against. Is Cleaner talking shit or is he talking sense?
Cleaner's talking sense, man. First year, he's talking sense. I like Cleaner's team. It's a lot of players that we didn't really like Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Amari Cooper, these guys that have burned people in the past, really. Um, so I like it, and it goes back to the same point. We're talking about another team that's doing really good, has a good record, has Patrick Mahomes, top tier quarterback, and I don't know. Kareem Hunt is a great fill in for running back, which he's going to have to do this week with Josh Jacobs out. And one thing I'm seeing with a lot of these really good teams, top tier quarterback, top tier defense. You got the Buccaneers defense, which is doing really good. It's a lockdown defense. We're just talking about the same thing with Jaden with the blue wall. You have these guys that have top tier quarterbacks, top tier defenses, and so now you kind of pick and play with your positional players. And if Josh Jacobs keeps doing what he's doing, then I have no reason to think why Cleaner is not in the playoffs, he's not competing. So, he's had one lackluster week, but besides that, dude's been putting up stupid points. Maybe I'm saying he loses this week, but it doesn't mean going forward that his team is going to be, losing consistently. I think he makes the playoffs, and he's talking sense.
Yeah. Cleaner's talking sense to me as well. I'm not as big of a fan of his team as, it sounds like you are. And the reason I say this because George Kittle, I think, is falling off big time. Um, Aaron Jones is so boom or bust for me. It's like with the AJ Dillon thing back there, even a positive game script. Like I don't know, they couldn't even do anything last week. But again, it's gonna be, I don't know. I think he has enough to make the playoffs. I think he's gotten himself to a point where he's good to make the playoffs. It's just some of his depth, Christian Watson, Noah Brown, like James Cook, Rex Burkhead, Brandon Bolden. I mean, I know he's got some of his handcuffs, but it's just like it doesn't really seem like he can withstand the bye weeks as much. So I think with him playing four tier one teams coming up in his schedule and three tier two teams, I think he could slide, and I think he'll still have just enough. I mean, again, that's why it's so important to string these victories together at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Because you can afford those losses. But I think he's going to fall down a bit, and I think what ends up happening is I think he'll get into the playoffs, but maybe he falls out of that top four where he's not the one picking his team in the flex seating. It's he's getting picked, and if that's the case, could he hold up against like a Brandon or Jaden. Um, I don't know. So he's talking sense though. Talking sense for now. I just have such
Hmm.
a hard time with the Josh Jacobs thing. Josh Jacobs just well, maybe because he just fucked me over. So I'm probably just feeling that fire from him still. But it's the Raiders too. Like Raider, dude. I was just telling Tanner about this. Raiders are like the Cowboys to me. It's like they just find like weird ways to squander the talent on the team. They lose in strange fashion. Strange penalties happen to them. So does Josh Jacobs keep doing what he's doing? And if Aaron Jones is so boom or bust, Kareem Hunt's splitting time with Nick fucking Chubb. So I can just see it swinging pretty hard. And who knows when Keenan
Possibly.
Allen's gonna be back to, full health. So, but for now, talking sense. All right. So up next, the mayor of Redmond himself,
Mhm.
fucking Redcocks. After this week, you would be 4-2.
Mhm.
So you have four tier one teams left, four tier two teams left, and zero tier three. So you got nothing but hogs coming your way, bud. You're about to hop in
Yeah.
that trough out there and get rolling around in the mud. So
Oh yeah, brother.
where you stand at now, 96.48 points per game. You're sixth in points for, 11th in points against. So give me a feeling about where you're heading.
Hmm. I think my team is talking sense as long as the injury bug doesn't get them. I feel like I've been riding a lot of injuries to some of my top players like T Higgins. He's been injured consistently. James Conner has literally not finished a game in the last 3 weeks. So it's really hard to trust somebody to keep putting him out there when you literally he's playing like 2 quarters a game. Um, and then Russell Wilson obviously dealing with some kind of shoulder bullshit or whatever it is. So you know, I'm glad Stephon Diggs, Austin Eckler, like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Ramondre Stevenson's not going to be the bell cow there in New England while Damian Harris is out, so I don't have to worry too much about it. I think my team is talking sense as long as they stay healthy. Um, However, I think I'm talking shit just because of my points per game at this moment. I think right now I'm talking shit. I think my team has to play out a little bit more. I think Brian was kind of touching base on that a little bit too, right? Like I have to see my team be consistent before I can sit here and say like I'm talking sense. So that's how I'm feeling about my team right now.
I think you're talking enough sense to get yourself into the playoffs. And again, even with the loss this week, sitting at 4-2, you have enough talent on paper to get there. Now, I don't know if you get into that flex seating conversation, just like I was talking about with Cleaner there, but just the same with his team. You have some question mark players like James Conner. What's that dude? Like, what is he really? Kills it last year, and he has the opportunity to teach this year, getting the bell cow back, but he gets injured, right? Like that's always been kind of James Conner thing. But you look at it, Eckler, Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins when he's healthy. Got that Ramondre out there now, without Damian Harris. And
Got
you
a QB playing tight end.
got the God himself. Fucking Adonis out there carrying the team on his back. I think you definitely make the playoffs. I think it's be more of a grind, and especially if you're dealing with all these injuries. But your team's talking sense because you're kind of like right in the middle of the pack too, where it's like it's a little different when you're talking like you know, say B Johns for example is fifth in points for, right, 12th in points against, but you're more like aligned towards the middle of that. Actually, yeah, sixth and 11th. I mean, you just inched in a little bit closer there. So, um, talking sense, bud. Enough to get in.
Perfect. All right.
Congratulations, you're in.
Thanks, dude. All right, let's speed this up a little bit because we're spending a lot of time on this.
We say this every episode. I swear to God, dude.
I'm just like I'm like, wow, we're spending at least like 7 minutes per person. I'm like, we could literally easily top like an hour and a half.
We're regressing from what we talked about before, cut down the episodes to now we're fucking
And
going.
we're doing it like late at night too. We're like, yeah, dude, this is cool.
I know. You see the bags growing underneath my eyes about this. This is what happens when you play fantasy football. You're supposed to win, but you're not. All right. So, anyways, back on track. So, Derek's cart, Tanner, 4-2 after this week. He's got four tier one teams left, three tier two teams, and one tier three team. Now he's averaging 93.32 points per game, seventh in points for, 14th in points against. Is Derek's cart talking shit or is he talking sense?
It is. I just, man, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. I think as long as Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams keep doing their thing, he's talking sense. But I don't trust Miles Sanders. I think like that last game from Miles Sanders, that's what I expect. Some yards, some well earned yards, but no touchdowns. I just expect that from him. And Geno Smith has to regress at some point. Like this man is not what he's looking like Russell Wilson from back in the day. I just don't believe it. This
Yeah,
is talking shit to me.
how did you draft wrong, bud? You should have known.
So this is talking shit to me in the sense that yes, he's only averaging right 93 points per game. He has the least amount of points allowed against them. He's almost in the same boat with me where right he's almost gonna be playing just top tier players this whole time. So I think Diz is talking shit at this point.
Yes, agreed. 1 second here, my boy. Sorry. I just realized something. Tyrion Davis Price just got changed to questionable, and so now it's walking up my my waivers here.
Shit.
Oh wait, whoops. Wow, they would do that. Um, yeah,
What?
fucking many ways. Stats get dropped.
Dude, one of my sleeper leagues, Damian Harris is how the fuck is he doubtful now?
I
He's
don't know.
literally out.
They literally just changed it too. How fucking dude? No, you need to talk to Sleeper about this. They literally just changed that status right before the waivers went through. That would have fucked over all my waivers. Like what, dude? This is the kind of shit I'm talking about, man. It's like trying to sabotage out here. And that's probably just pissed off and trying to take it out on the rest of the league out here. So you switch it over on the statuses.
All right, so what are you thinking about Diz's team here?
Back on
I'm
track.
saying I'm saying he's talking shit. Shit
Yeah,
talker.
I think his mouth is full of crap right now. uh,
He wanted to join us on the show, and guess what? He fucking set us up. So guess what, bud?
yeah,
You're
you know
full
what?
of fucking shit.
Yeah, dude, fucking talking shit right to my face, apparently. um, yeah, dude. I mean, it's kind of the same stuff you talked about. Miles doesn't make me smile, and and
That's Dylan's hot take on this. Miles doesn't make me smile, dog. You talking shit.
you talking shit. Get the fuck out now. What it comes down to is Diz has played a lot of lower tier players right now, and he's got a hard schedule coming up. He's not putting up the points per game that makes me feel confident. And dude's about to go through bye week hell for the next, whenever Derrick Henry goes out. It just he doesn't really have the depth outside the wide receiver position. So, in
Oh
which
yeah, talking shit.
yeah, just talking shit. I mean, honestly, and to be real, I don't know. 4-2 right now, but that kind of schedule coming up with the bye weeks mixed in there, could this slip out of the playoffs? I mean, I wouldn't throw it out of the realm of possibilities. Sorry, but bud, should have joined the show. Could have had a say in this.
Hell yeah, dude! I got Jerick McKinnon. Let's go.
You would fucking take Jerick McKinnon for me, buddy. Fucking DJ Dallas going on out there. You put $3 in for McKinnon. You're such a freaking loser, bro.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right. So okay. So we're on to Peyton next. Trone.
Yep, Pate. So after this week, he'll be 4-2. Now Trone's got 4 tier 1 players left for or 1 tier 2 team and 3 tier 3 teams coming up. So Pate's averaging 103.76 points per game. And he's fourth in points for and ninth in points against. Is the deal then talking shit? They talking sense.
Hmm. Man, this is a tough one because Trone's team is doing so good. Like it's doing so good. But god damn if I don't fucking like Tyler Lockett, Terry McLaurin, Deion Jackson, Devin Singletary, Aaron Rodgers. Like I literally feel like the San Francisco 49ers defense is literally carrying this team week by week. And then
Travis
Travis
Kelce.
Kelsey and like Debo. Like I just man, like you look at teams that are out there with so much talent, right? Like you look at your team, you look at my team, like these teams that you look at these players and you're like, wow, these are really good players. Yeah. No, you can even look at like B Johns' team, right? Like has more talent on it, not scoring as many points as Trone is. And it's just crazy to me that Trone is getting this and good for Trone, right? But I gotta say that there has to be some regression to this team, and maybe that's just like my bias or whatever it is. I don't really have any hate towards Strone's team. I just don't like a lot of the players on this team, and they just he keeps winning though. But I want to say he's talking shit. I want to say he's talking shit. I want to say that it's not going to be as pretty going forward as it has been.
I think silently Trone is talking shit over there. I feel like Trone like is whispering in people's ears. He's not like shouting it out or anything. He's like slyly talking shit in people's ears. We gave Trone the win this week, namely due to Diz not having any, fucking players this week to play. But he goes 4-2. But the problem is he runs into those 4 tier 1 teams, and it's just like, man, Antonio Gibson's gone, dude. Dude's going to return kickoffs. Like it's gonna be the Brian Robinson show now. Scary Terry, like he's so scared he can't even get on the field. Apparently, like he's just like, where the hell is he? When I see the Commanders games, I don't ever see Terry out there. Like it's, it's not if it's not Jahan Dawson, it's Diami Brown or whatever. Like, where the fuck is he, dude? Um, I mean, yeah, dude, he's got Debo, he's got Kelsey, he's got just enough, and he's got that Niners D. But it's like, I just don't see it happening this year. Like, unless he starts making trades, I think Trout's team's talking shit out there. Yeah, it's just not there. Dingletary, fuck, god damn, dude. I'll never stop shitting on Dingletary.
Yeah, for the end of, for the remainder of my life, he will never get the respect for me to call him Singletary. He's always going to be Dingletary.
Yeah, I think Trone wrote out as much as he could with that Gibson. And I don't know, it's just like weird too. Drake London, like he's just been disappearing. I don't know.
He'll get
Um,
DeAndre Swift back at some point, but I just like there's other
he'll
teams
get
out there
DeAndre.
that I like so much more.
Yeah,
And not even necessarily my team. My team's underperforming. Like fuck my team. Fuck my team. but I'm thinking like the
Sure.
Jessies. I'm
Same.
thinking like I'm thinking of the cleaners. I'm thinking of the Jadens and Brandons and stuff like that. And I just think like this team with like like the construct of it just doesn't match up to those. And I feel like sooner that regression happens.
Yeah, I feel like he's got to catch up to him, right? I feel like he's been getting it now, but especially with the schedule he has coming up, like I just don't see it panning out in the way he wants it. So Pate is silently whispering shit into our ears.
Yeah.
um,
So
Next up we got Jesse. So he's an interesting one. After this week goes 3-3, right? So he has three tier one teams left to play, three tier two teams, and then he has two tier three teams. So again, another mixed bag. But for Jesse, he's averaging 115.85 points per game. He's first in points for, but he's also first in points against. Now
uh,
talk about some shit. So is Jesse talking sense or is he talking shit?
uh, he's talking sense. Like you literally can't sit here and fault the guy. The guy is scoring an astronomical amount of points. Like he's gonna have the number one tight end by the end of the year, probably with Mark Andrews. He's gonna probably have the number one
Kelsey?
quarterback. Oh yeah, Mark Andrews is getting so many targets. It's just like unstoppable.
Uh,
I think Travis Kelsey, what he had like 25 yards for like four touchdowns. Like,
yeah.
um, but like you have Josh Allen, like, and then you have Dalvin Cook who looked good last week, and then you have, you know, if Tua comes back, you have Jalen Waddle who was going off, and Cortland Sutton's the only person to catch a pass on the Broncos. Like, there's a lot of things I like about this team. He also has a lot of fucking pieces behind that. Like, if anybody sustains an injury, like he has like probably the best set of handcuffs out there. Um, but the dude is just putting up stupid numbers. How do I go against somebody that's putting up 115 points per game? I don't. So he's talking sense.
Yeah, I think Jesse is talking sense. I think there's got to be a little bit of regression for him, just a smidgen. Like, I just don't see. Again, when I'm thinking of like, okay, I said Jaden was probably talking the most sense, right? Jesse talks a lot of sense, but can he get consistency out of Alvin Lazard, James Robinson? There's a couple of question marks that I look at with his team and everything. But numbers don't lie, right? Put up the most points in the league. He's had the most points scored against him. Majority of the time, if you played those other teams that weren't putting up big weeks on him, who knows what his record would be? He'd be flopped with Brandon. He'd be 5-0. But and then the mixed bag of the remaining schedule there. If he continues at this pace, right? Even if he dropped down to like 110, 108 points per game, whatever, it's like he's going to be playing against some pretty easy teams. Um, and I think he's going to be able to walk in that playoff spot. Like, I don't think Jesse needs to really worry all that much. You have enough to get it done to take top spot, Like, I don't really know. Like, the dude's been getting so many touchdowns. Like, you got to think that it regresses at some point.
Yeah.
So, Jesse, talking sense. Move on to Mitch, old guru. Shoeless Joe Jackson.
He's talking shit.
Putting on his shoes? Is he not putting on his shoes? Did he find them? What the fuck is going on with the shoe situation? I mean, yeah.
87.47 points per game, ninth in points for, sixth in points allowed.
Oh yeah.
He's talking shit. Like he started out hot. Like Lamar Jackson came out just banging, and Joe Mixon was looking good. Now Joe Mixon's looking all right. Like I don't know. It just like the wide receiving core is like if DeAndre Hopkins comes back and becomes DeAndre Hopkins of the past, which a lot of people don't expect that to be the case, then maybe. But AJ Brown is like, he's so good. But Devontae Smith is getting a lot of action now. Dallas Goddard's mixing in. Jalen Hurts literally steals every touchdown in the red zone. Um, you know, just really hard for me to look at this and think that, he's going to be like, he's been steadily declining. And like, I don't think that's like far fetched to say that it's shit. Like, Professor Pleaser's gone right now. Like, you can't lose 3, 4 games in a row possibly and be like, oh yeah, I'm completely fine. Like, that's the problem, right? That's the depth part, right? Where you don't have that fill in when somebody goes out, and so then it teaches you a lesson. And a lot of times those lessons you can catch back up from those lessons. So
You get stuck in class.
your detention, bud.
Yeah.
Get your ass to detention.
Yeah. I think shoeless Joe Jackson squeezing that shit between his toes. He's talking shit. Um, I mean, it's the Lamar Jackson show, right? And yeah, it's like Joe Mixon's been so inefficient. I like Brandon Ayuk, Dubs. But where's this? Where's the running back too? He's already Cordero. His pleasing's been maximized. there's there's no more pleasure from him. You squeezed all the pleasure out of him, and dude's just a soggy banana now. So, yeah, talking shit. Fortunately for Gobbs, I believe he misses the playoffs, and I mean, maybe the schedule saves him. Like, maybe make a trade. Who knows? I know Gobby's been active out there, but it's just tough to see it right now. um, then we have Calvin. So just this week will be 3-3, and he has 3 tier 1 teams, 1 tier 2 team, and 4 tier 3 teams left. Now Cal's averaging 87.29 points per game, 10th in points for, 4th in points against. So is Calvin talking shit? He's talking sense.
Mm, 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 mm.
One of the biggest shit talkers out there. Yet, does he make sense?
I'm, his team makes sense to make the playoffs. Like, it makes sense. Like, he's on the up and up. Like, it really just depends. I think he's talking sense, and I hate to say it, but I think he's talking sense because Christian Kirk has looked really good. He'll pick it back up. He's still getting like he has a stupid target share amount. He's still running a shit ton of routes. He's on the field for every single play. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, who knows when he'll ever come back. Kyle Pitts, if he comes back to what he's supposed to be, I think this is a good team. It's a solid team. So Cal could easily sneak into that 8th, 7th, 6th seed right there at the very bottom. So I think Calvin's talking sense at this point.
I think. Look at his squad again. I think Cal is talking just enough sense. It's kind of one of those conversations if you have with them where he's spouting out a bunch of shit at you and you're like irritated because it's Calvin and he's trying to pound something in your head, but then you slow down and you think about it, you're like, yeah, you actually, can see your point with this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it really comes down to the roster reconstruction, right? And it's just hard to not see Brady actually start teaching now that he has. I mean, Shea doesn't have Julio Jones back still, but pretty much everybody else is healthy. And so, you know, Leonard's going to benefit from that. Tom benefits from that. Melvin just got thrusted into that, starting role now. The wide receivers have always been good. And then that Cowboys D. It's funny. I feel like the defenses are playing such a bigger role this year. And maybe that has to do somewhat with the rule changes. I don't know if, we need to check that out. I have not looked into that. I think you might have mentioned it, but yeah, I think Calvin has enough to get into the playoffs. Can he dig himself out of the hole, right? That's the big question. He's got the three tier one teams left to play, yet he has four tier three teams left to play. So it's just, I think it comes down to stringing together those wins and just managing the team well. But for now, after 3-3, I'd say he's talking sense. I like the moves that he's made, I have to say. Um, next up, we have Horse Cummy is yummy. So COD after this week, 3-3. All right, so COD's got one tier one team left, four tier two teams, and three tier three teams, averaging at 87.38 points per game. 11th points for, fifth in points against. So COD talking shit, talking sense.
It's talking shit. It's talking shit since that Kyler Murray isn't the Kyler Murray that we thought he is. Like he's still ranked fifth quarterback, but it's not like he's putting up the Jalen Hurts or the Josh Allen or the Patrick Mahomes numbers. Najee Harris is just on literally probably the worst Steelers team that we've seen in the last 20 years. Really, the only thing that's been holding this man up has been Nick Chubb. Like his wide receiving core is absolute, just a wasteland. Like he's literally just picking. He's just picking from things. He's like Curtis Samuel. Oh, cool. He's like doing something over here with the Commanders. I'll just throw him into my roster. Curtis Samuel ain't gonna get you 15 points. He ain't gonna get you 12 points. He's gonna get you some yards, and that's about it. Might go off for one good game. Michael Thomas, who the fuck knows? This dude's injured all the time. It's just I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Even though we've talked about 100 times, no wide receiving core. It's hard to win when you got basically zero wide receivers scoring for you every single week. And like I said, the only thing that's carrying him is Nick Chubb. If Nick Chubb has a bad game, this team scores less than 80 points every single week.
Yeah. Uh, his team name is talking sense. The team itself talking complete shit. COD is pulling a classic COD here. And I figured maybe, with all the running backs he had, it's like probably to start doing some more trades or something and try to bolster that wide receiving core. The wide receivers are almost non-existent. I mean, dude, no, I couldn't deal with it. Najee Harris looking bad, just as the Steelers are. Kyler Murray, been burned by him before, done that song and dance. I just don't see COD, even with the schedule he's got. I mean, just the tier two teams alone, four of those, and one tier one team. I just don't see him getting it done. And I feel like COD is just closer to that Sacco once again. It's like it's calling his name. You can hear the whispers coming through the wind out there.
I don't know. He has some stiff competition, so we'll get to him soon.
We'll get there. So COD, you're talking shit, bud. Next up, Brian, 3-3 after this week. So four tier one teams left to play, one tier two team, and three tier three teams. Now, Brian's averaging 87.21 points per game, 12th in points for, 7th in points allowed. Is he talking sense? We talking shit.
We gave him a lot of shit and everything like that for like the Saquon trade, but Jeff Wilson has panned out very well. Tyler Higbee, good tight end. The problem is Tyreek Hill doesn't have Tua, and who knows if Tua comes back or how long it's going to take. And that's like your top hog, him and Damian Pierce. Damian Pierce is on bye this week, and I think we chose. Did we choose him to win?
Yeah, he's playing crap bag.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Well, there we go. All right, so the team's talking shit right now. The quarterback we thought, I don't even think we thought, we just had a little taste of like hope for him when it came to the quarterback situation with Jared Goff, and Jared Goff just went right to where he belongs. which is not on a team. And so he's talking shit right now. He's pulled off 2 victories in a row. It's great. If he's going to get another one this week against Crab 3-3. But then it's the problem is the tier one teams and that one tier two team left. I think those are possibly 5 losses for him, and that keeps him outside the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Brian's team's talking shit, and it's really comes down to DeAndre Hopkins about to be back. What's that going to do to Marquise Brown? Elijah Mitchell comes back in about a month, maybe a little less than a month. So what happens to Jeff Wilson? The Tua thing with Tyreek, and Tyreek himself was just in a walking boot walking out the fucking stadium. So I mean, they say he's fine now, but between the two and that, like, I don't really know what you're gonna get. And I mean, the QB, dude, he's still living the nightmare. So, you know, I just don't see it with the remaining schedule he has coming up. I think he misses the playoffs, and yeah, it's just like, Jeff Wilson thing's nice and everything, but I think it's honestly, I think that Saquon trade is going to come back to haunt Brian. I think if he would have just held,
Yeah,
if he would have held on to
Saquon,
Saquon
Damian Pierce, that would have been nice.
years, J.K. Dobbins, and then you have
That
Tyreek
would have been
and
nice.
Gabriel Davis, like that's it. That's a good squad. So yeah, it's tough, man. That's the world we live in fantasy. It's either you're creaming your pants or you're getting punched
Shit in
in
your
the balls.
pants.
Yeah, shit your pants. Um, all right. Up next is myself. 2-4 after this week. I have 0 tier one teams left to play. Thank God. 5 tier two teams and 3 tier three teams. So I'm averaging 89.47 points per game. I'm eighth in points for, second in points against. Am I talking shit or am I talking sense?
I think you're talking sense besides CEH. I think that guy is literally his pants are full of fucking shit, dude. Like
got
like that man is so full of shit, dude.
got a diaper on him.
I literally think this is the thing with you. I think the talent is talking so much sense, but like you're gonna go into bye weeks and you don't got much on the bench going on here. You traded a lot of players so you could have like this bolstered squad. And I think that Leonard Fournette trade might bite you in the ass.
Maybe.
Just
Help me get
just because
I mean, not CH,
yeah.
CD.
Yeah, you have CD. I don't know. I think at this point the talent's talking sense, but just the way things have been going, you're talking shit.
Am I talking shit? 'Cause, well, I don't know.
I just don't know. I think that maybe you constructed such a talented team that it just can't, like, the fantasy like world can't handle it, and so they're like it's like an anomaly. They're like, wow, this is such a good team that we can't allow it to be as good as what it's supposed to be.
It's as beautiful as a black hole. Literally, it's such a wonder to look at, but what it actually does is pure just destruction in a bad way and emptiness. I'm left with emptiness every single Sunday. All right.
Yes.
I have to say I'm talking sense. And if the talent, right? Even with CEH in there, I mean, there's teams out there with way shittier options at running back. And I would like to think that my Christian McCaffrey and trio of wide receivers could lift me to a victory, or give me some goddamn points. What haunts me is really that kicker position, dude. I'm never picking up Greg Joseph again. That dude's such a fucking bitch. I just, oh man, the kicker position has been pissing me off so much. Like, dude goes out there, kicks, or he gets 17 points the week before. After I dropped him, from him getting 1 point before that, and then he goes back down to 1 point. I, oh, dude, it's fuck me on the kicker, right? But here's why I say I'm talking sense, right? Okay, so I think between you talk about the bye weeks there, Jacoby Myers is low key been actually like balling out lately. I mean, dude had 17 points before that. He's getting a massive target share up there in New England. I don't remember the dude's name. Zadie?
Ba- Bailey Bailey Zappi.
Bailey Zappi, yeah. Look at Zappi. Yeah. He's don't dude, he loves Jacoby and Rondale. I think you actually said it Sunday. But I was dying because it seemed like he could only get negative yards. I was like, dude. But they ended up with like, I don't know, like 63 yards, something like that at the end of that game.
Sounds like you're talking so much sense, right?
Jacoby Myers actually been doing well though. You can't even argue it. I don't know. Survived the bye weeks a bit. Um, and I literally have zero tier one teams left. I mean, I have probably one of the more favorable schedules that I could see because I've always done.
Yeah. But will it matter?
Well, it matter. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to say with the talent on paper, I'm talking sense. And
I think you're full of shit.
yeah, if not, I am full of shit. And fuck fantasy, then, dude. I swear to God, like I'm just bad at it now. I talk all this talk, just a whole lot of shit apparently. Well, moving on there. Split that one. We got Nut 0-6 after this week. So Nut's got two tier one teams left to play, four tier two teams, and two tier three teams. So a bit of a mixed bag, averaging 82.38 points per game, 13 points for, third in points against. Not talking shit, talking sense.
He's talking a lot of shit, but I know what he's doing. He's hyping up that Brees Hall, trying to get people to spend their money. I already he did with AJ Dillon. I'm not gonna fall for that shit again. I'm gonna fall for that shit. um, but like I think like his teams can like he got good stuff back and he got money with it too. So his like strategy was like he didn't get as much money as he wanted, but like it's not it's not as shitty as it is. But he's 0-6. He has a 0% chance of making the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if this man finishes at least 3-13 or 2-12. So he's talking shit. He's one of the biggest shit talkers there is.
Yeah.
There's literally two of the top shit talkers, and we're talking about both in a minute right now.
Oh no, you got B John's account too. There's a lot of shit. Oh, what you mean just for this purpose? Yeah, I'm thinking of actual people.
Yes, no, yeah, actual people, yeah, no.
Um, yeah, Nuts talking shit. He's talking a load of shit. I think you're right. I think he's hyping up Brees Hall. I think Nuts platform that he has with his show there really sways the opinions of people in our league. Not so much influence over this fucking league and that probably there that he does with the Nut Report combined. I feel like really taps into the mind. Be careful out there, boys. Stay woke. But no,
Yeah,
Nuts talking shit.
shit.
I mean, Kirk Cousins, boo boo. No, I'm not riding Captain Kirk ship this year. Adam Thielen, I don't believe in. I'm gonna keep saying it over and over and stop trying to offer him in trades to me. Like maybe not having so much but all the Thielen. If anybody owns Thielen out there this year, just know I will not trade for him whatsoever. Unless you're taking like fucking boo boo bench player. But
You taking Rondell Moore or Adam Thielen?
circle back around. Give me a couple weeks with Ron. You don't have to come in.
He's getting positive yards.
Yeah, he's moving in positive
All
direction.
right, well, let's go to the person that's actually the feature of this segment.
Yeah. So bag 0-6. Dude's got one tier one team left, four tier two teams, three tier three teams, averaging a cool 67.63 points per game. 14th in points for, eighth in points against. I mean, I don't know if I have to even ask you, but is he talking shit? Talking sense?
This man's talking so much shit. His name is about shit. His team is shit. His lineup is so shit that like literally he doesn't even build it because there's nothing to build it with. It's so bad. It's so bad, and it's so bad. Once was the king of fantasy football in our league. Now he's literally just well, he is the owner of the outhouse. He is a user of the outhouse. He cleans the outhouse. Like this guy, so much shit. Like I would not be surprised. He might get one win this year, just maybe.
Yeah, the schedule is not in the most favorable form either. I mean, the remaining tiers mixed bag, but I mean for crap bag, a tier two team is pretty much a tier one team. And so it's just there's no hope, it's false hope. Um he's rocking that Geno Smith at QB. I just can't believe I'm seeing that. And yeah, dude, Alvin, Benjamin there. I know James Conner is hurt, but god damn, man.
Yeah, it's not good.
I love that he picked up OBJ.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like, who the fuck is Cade Otton?
Yeah, he's fresh new tight end for the old business hound.
Oh man. Yeah. Have the mighty have fallen. You smell that shit a mile
Well,
away.
well, that's talking shit or talking sense right there, my boy.
Yeah, we'll circle back around to that. Maybe gauge that later. And that was a long ass segment though.
Yeah, it was.
But it was good. I think, yeah, pretty good feel for where things are going. And god damn, I would do anything to taste that sweet victory juice again.
Let's go. Okay, so Brandon, we have him talking sense. Jaden's talking sense. Alex talking sense. I'm talking enough sense. Dizzle's talking shit. Trone's talking shit. Jesse's talking sense. Mitch is talking shit. Calvin's talking sense. Cody's talking shit. Scheimer's talking shit. And you were split in half. Then nut and crap bag. They're talking shit.
So let's see. It means we have one, two, three, four, five, six. Oh, we got seven sense talkers. I guess it'd be seven shit talkers too. I think I counted that right. Sorry guys, it's late, so give my
The only
voice.
one that we're the only one that's on the fence is you.
Yeah,
So you're a teeter totter.
interesting. I'm at a loss for words for what's happening this season, and we'll see. I'm just gonna let everybody know I'm still willing to trade. So if anybody's the wheel a deal, come on down to Dill's Playhouse, where I'm the fucking Joker running the show.
Yeah. And just let you guys know that's just like a subliminal thing for his OnlyFans account. So watch out.
I don't even subscribe to my own team right now. God.
I think that's it.
Yeah. No. Thanks for tuning into this long episode, guys. Who knows? I guess if it looks like Thursday night game's probably gonna be dog shit again, so maybe a good time to throw the song in the background and mute the game. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens, and I'd like to see a little more. I don't know. I think Brian was talking about it though. I'm not talking about the episodes again. I'm not we've already thrown out there we'd like more content, so we're not going to revisit that.
Carrie's corner.
Yeah, I think it's around the horizon at this point.
We
But
get the playoffs a playoff segment.
it is pretty weird though. It's like we had all these trades happen, and then no trades this week. It's like kind of fizzled out. I don't know.
We'll get some trades going next week once these some of these teams kind of realize where they're at.
Yeah, who knows? If I keep losing, fire sale, baby. You get all my money back.
You got plenty of assets.
God. Yeah. All right, boys. Thanks for tuning in again this week. See you out
Praise
there.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah. Praise to Nuts new God. Out there on the battlefield Sunday.